Hey guys, Ansari Sultan here from networkershome. So today's our topic is port forwarding. So come to our topology. So this is my topology. You can see here the topology is remain same like a previous lab. This is my internet. This is my B1 site. In this B1 site I have some routers and PC. And this is my B2 site. In the B2 site I have some server like HTTP server, HTTPS server, SSH server. So in a port forwarding, what I'm going to do here, this is my internet user. This internet user wants to access this HTTP server. So in a normal scenario, if it's sending the HTTP request, so the destination IP address is 10.0.0.1. Okay, but this is our private IP address, and the private IP address is not routable to the internet and also we have to hide our private IP address. Like this is my server IP address, so we have to hide our server private IP address to the external user. So what I am going to do here, when any user when any outside user wants to access this server, HTTP server or HTTPS server or SSH server, so for the outside world, my destination IP address is this G0/2 IP address, like 192.168.255.151. So my destination IP address, like for this user, 192.168.255.151, and it's going to use HTTP server. So according to this port number, it's going to redirect your packet. Okay, so means this is user wants to use port number 80 means HTTP server, so this packet we have to redirect to this server. Suppose any user wants to access 443 port number means HTTPS server, so our router checking port number, okay, this port number is 443, so we have to redirect our packet to this server. Same as it for 23, as is redirecting that packet to the SSH. Okay, so for this lab I have to configure HTTP server here in this device, HTTPS in this device, and SSH in this router. Okay, you can see here this is our IP addresses. So open your devices and configure it. HTTP, HTTPS, and the SSH. So this is my fresh machine, so I am going to configure HTTP, HTTPS, and SSH service on in these three devices quickly. So create one notepad for configuration. Notepad. This is for HTTP. So interface G0/0, then we have to give IP address. IP address is 10.0.0.1 with /24 subnet mask. No shutdown. Exit. I have to give default route. Out 410. My default gateway is 10.0.0.10. Then I have to enable HTTP service here. So command is IP HTTP server, then IP HTTP authentication local because I am going to use my local database. I am not going to use AAA server or something, because in currently I don't have any AAA servers. That's why I am going to use local database. So for local database I have to create one username CCNA with privilege 15, and the password also CCNA, or other I can use CCI. Now HTTPS, this configuration for HTTP server, and also enable config T, and I'm going to change the host name. Host name is HTTP _SCR HTTP server 1. Same as it for this PC, this HTTPS server, and and here I have to mention HTTPS server, HTTPS server 2. The IP address is .2, interface remains same, IP route same, and here we have to change some. Here there is some modification. The IP HTTP secure server. Here we have to mention IP HTTP secure server. Rest of command will be remain same. The next command is, the next configuration device is SSH device. Control V, and this is my SSH IP address is .3, route is remain same, username remain same, but here we have to enable the SSH. So line VTY space 0 space 4, login local, transport input all, exit. I have to define some domain name. So IP domain name, my domain name is, I am setting SSH. Then I have to create crypto key, generate RSA module 1024. Okay, so this is the command. Now this command I am going to paste in each and every devices. Like for HTTP I am going to copy this code for HTTPS, for HTTPS configuration in this device, and for SSH this configuration. So quickly I am going to copy and paste. Come to the Internet Explorer. HTTP, HTTPS and SSH. HTTP, and the configuration is this one. Just copy and paste. Configured. Come to the HTTPS, copy the command, copy, paste. Done. Come to the SSH, copy the command, copy, paste. Okay, I have some problem here. Modules 1024. Okay, done. So our server's configuration has been done. So now come to the ASA. My ASA also is a fresh machine, so I'm going to quickly assign some IP address. First host name ASA2, interface G0/2. You can see here G0/2's IP addresses. Also do one thing, I am just going to create one more notepad for this one. ASA2, host name is ASA2, interface G0/2, then IP address is 192.168.255.151 with the /24 subnet mask. No cert, nameif, nameif is outside, exit, interface G0/3, G0/1, then IP address is 10.0.0.10 /24, no cert. Then I have to define nameif inside, exit, and also I have to define default route. So route outside, and my for getting internet, my default gateway is 255.1. Just copy this code, copy Explorer ASA2, paste. Okay, again copy, paste. Okay, outside, some spelling mismatch. Again copy, yes, now done. Check the internet connectivity, ping 8.8.8.8. so you can see we have our internet connectivity. So now the main task. So you can see here we have a three server. We have a three server, HTTP, HTTPS and SSH. So I am going to create 3 objects for these 3 devices. So again come to the ASA. So I am going to create 3 objects, object network and the S1, and the host IP address is 10.0.0.1, and I am going to create net for this host, and I can create net here also, net inside. Why I am mentioning inside? Because when this request coming from the internet and it reach to the HTTP, and when it's going to the reply, at the reply time my source IP address is 10.0.0.1, and I have to translate this source IP address into the public IP address. So for I am translating my packet during the reply packet. So reply packet coming from inside to outside. So that's why in ASA I mentioned here inside, and it is going to outside. And here I am going to mention static. Static means this is inside IP address is a static, and this inside IP address is taken by this 10.0.0.1, and this outside, for the translation I am going to use interface. And here I have to define service TCP, and this 10.0.0.1 is my HTTP service, means HTTP server. So here I have to mention HTTP for source, and also for the destination, for the map HTTP. Hit enter, exit. Now I created the one object. Okay, so I created one object. Come to the topology. So I say this internet user is sending some data from outside world to the inside of this zone, of this branch B2. So you know the behavior of ASA firewall. Any packet coming from low level security to high level security, so by default our packet will be dropped. So for allowing this packet from 0 level security level to the 100 security level, we have to create one access list. So for allowing this packet, I am going to create one access list. So access list, the access list name is allow out. You can choose any name. Allow out, permit TCP, because I am allowing HTTP request from outside to inside, and HTTP is a TCP based protocol. So TCP. Then my source can be any, like it is a outside user, inside user, any user. So for the source IP address I have to mention any, but the destination I am going to mention specific IP address 10.0.0.1, and here I have to mention question mark equal. You can see equal port equal to operator, so you have to use EQ as a which port number you are using. My server 1 HTTP server is using a port number 80. I can use 80, or either I can use HTTP name. Okay, hit enter. So I created one access list. Now I have to allow this I have to mention this access list on an interface. So access group allow underscore out access list name, the direction is in. So my access list behavior is in because it's coming from outside to inside. Means this HTTP request is coming from this user, outside user to in our premises. So for this ASA, this HTTP request is coming from outside, so the behavior is in, and on this interface, means this interface name, logical name is outside. So come to the ASA, packet behavior is in and the interface is outside. Hit enter. Okay, now come to the this external users PC. Okay, this is my external PC, and this test 1 2 3. Check the IP address of this device, of this PC. Come to the CMD, and because in the previous lab I already assigned the IP address, but for verification check IP config. So you can see here my IP address is 192.168.255.152 and the default gateway is 255.1. Now open this browser, Chrome browser, and try to access GUI of this server, HTTP server here. Okay, type here http colon // I have to mention here my gateway IP address. Not gateway, it's outside interface IP address, ASA outside interface IP address. So my outside ASA interface IP address is 192.168.255.151. So come to the Windows PC again and hit enter here. See, we got the log, not log, we got the prompt. Here we have to type our username and password, CCNA and CCI. So you can see here, this is my HTTP server 1. For verification, you can come here and check. See, the host name is HTTP server 1. So IP interface brief, and same as come to this here. Click on 15 and check. So IP interface brief. You can see here I'm in this user, this PC 10.0.0.1. Okay, this is my router IP address, HTTP server IP address, but I am accessing through this IP address 192.168.255.1. Okay, so similarly I am going to create object for object network server 2, hostname 10.0.0.2, net direction same, inside to outside, static outside interface. Here we have to define service is a TCP based service, and here I have to define HTTPS for source and HTTPS for mapped. Exit same as for server 3. So again object network S3. Here I have to define host name 10.0.0.3, net from inside to outside, static interface, then service TCP, and real port number is SSH, and map port number also SSH. So run object. So you can see here I created 3 objects. and also so run net. I created 3 net. Now I have to create access list for this HTTPS and SSH also. You can see here currently I have a so run access list. I have only one access list, so come to the config mode, config T. This access list is remains same, just we have to change the host name and our service. So my host name is 10.0.0.2. this is my HTTPS, and equal to port number we have to define HTTPS. Either you can define HTTPS or you can mention number like 443. Same as for SSH, so 10.3 equal to SSH, hit enter. So again check so run access list. So I have a 3 access list. And already I mentioned this access list on an interface outside interface, and the behavior is in. Check so run access group. You can see here. Now again come to the this PC, outside PC, and try to take SSH access, not SSH, HTTPS service, like HTTPS colon / we have to define 192.168.255.151. hit enter. It took time because this is a virtual PC, so and I gave only 3 GB RAM for this PC. Okay, you can see here your connection is not private, so simply I am going to allow process. Process to 192.168.255.151. It took time. Meanwhile, I am going to take my putty access, like SSH access. 192.168.255.151. Open. Yes. Login as a CCNA. Password is a CCI. You can see SSH. So my HTTP and SSH is connection successfully. Again try to access process to 192.168.255.151. Process, come to the ASA. You can see here so connection. This 192.168.255.153 is translated with this 10.0.0.80. For 10.0.0.3 is translated with 22, and with this port number it will be translated with 10.0.0.2 for the HTTPS. And also you can see here so accelerate table. Currently I have only one connection. This for 10.0.0.1 the port number is 80, then 10.0.0.2 for HTTPS, and 10.0.0.3 for SSH. So this is our practical. Thank you.